Hey guys, welcome back to the garden. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, I just wanted to do a video on an update for our willow trees that we're growing and then our elderberry, because it seems like this is the one thing that's actually doing well in our garden. We've had these things propagating in water for a couple of weeks, and then we placed them in these pots out here maybe a week and a half ago, and they are starting to shoot up their very first sprouts. And what I'll do on these is I will periodically pinch them off. Like if we've got some sprouts real down low, what I'll do is just stop that from growing. And then the same thing with this one here. I'll pinch that off. So we kind of develop a main leader coming from that cutting. And I will probably do a little bit of a different method with these basket weaving willows, because I want these to bush out, because they're going to bush out with straight spines or branches that I can then propagate and grow out into different ones or use as cuttings for basket weaving. So these serve a little bit of a different purpose than these curly willows and then the weeping willows that I have growing in the greenhouse. But like I said before, these are just growing fantastically. We've been making sure that we keep them well watered and moist constantly. You do not want these to dry out no matter what you do. Water these every single day if you have to make sure that they stay wet. They're not going to have any ill effects from overwatering, but if you underwater, that's when you're really going to run into trouble with these. Like I said, we've had a lot of things that have just kind of failed in the garden this year for whatever reason. I think I'm just so busy doing other things and getting ready for our move and getting the condo ready, looking for places, been very busy at work, and I'm trying to do as much as we can in the garden, but yet I find myself stumbling with some simple steps. Like earlier this year, we had our kale got frozen out in the greenhouse when we were hardening them off to bring them outside in the garden. Now they're just barely sprouting up still, but they were really set back because of that kill-off that they had. These are red Russian kale that got froze inside our greenhouse. They should be about twice this size by now. But again, because they got frozen early on in their life, they're just not doing too hot. But nonetheless, at least we'll still have some kale in the garden this year. And then just a few days ago, we forgot about half of our tomato plants in the greenhouse again, when it got to be about maybe 110 degrees in here. So yeah, we definitely had like 5 of them die, and a whole group, maybe 10 or 12 of them, are now looking pretty rough because of it. I think they'll end up making it because tomatoes are very, very hardy plants, but it's just been hit after hit with stuff like that that's just simple mistakes that I've just kind of neglected, and really just things that I forgot. Our elderberry are starting to sprout up. We've been watering these at about half frequency compared to our weeping willows. So maybe once every 3 days or so, unless we get a few real hot days in a row, then we will water them more frequently. But I will just do the finger test with these ones and make sure that that soil is staying moist. And they've been doing well. See, these ones are starting to sprout up too. So they're showing encouraging signs of growth, which I'm really happy about. I think every one of these is going to make it without any problems at all. So my tip to you guys is do not overwhelm yourselves with your gardens, and don't be afraid to have a failure every now and then either, because we're still learning, we're still growing, and it's through these mistakes that we'll learn how to grow even better, because we do have some great things growing right now, including our dahlias and lettuces, and all of our cucumbers and zucchinis, and everything else is growing great in the garden too. See, these are our dahlia cuttings, and then our lettuce patch and arugula. And then we've got some kale over here. Those are all coming along fine. And the cucumbers are just exploding. Our zucchini are exploding. But our tomatoes didn't do good, our kale didn't do good because of me, and our onions still aren't doing very good because I think I just got a faulty pack of onion seeds. So we're probably going to have to buy some sprouts to plant in this garden this year, but I really wanted to show you guys a video on how to make a whole carpet of onion seeds and then separate them out. But yet I wasn't able to. So I'm going to have to go to the store again and buy a whole pack of seeds to try and remake this video for you guys to illustrate the whole purpose of the original one, which was that for starting onion seeds, you can plant 100 little seeds in a tiny container like this, and they'll do just fine. But even though I planted 100 tiny little seeds, we've only got 5 of them to sprout. So it was unfortunately just a bad pack, but I still plan on making that video for you guys. And here we have our older curly willows that are doing great too. These have been growing for almost a month now, not quite. And they're just getting to be so beautiful. You see this one here. The top growth on this is about 3.5 inches or so. And so they're doing fantastic. I've just been doing the same thing with keeping them well watered and happy, because that's what those willows like. So guys, I think I'll leave you at that. The lesson of today is just saying, even though we might have failures, don't look down on yourself as a gardener, because there is so many years of learning, so many years of different failures, that all you can do is just get a little bit better each and every year and expand your knowledge as much as you can. Thank you guys all so much for watching. I hope you're having a great gardening adventure. We'll see you in the next episode.